Hey everyone! So I am back today with Bruce Monroe for a not live video. I will hopefully be able to pop into the chat while you guys watch the video and answer any questions that you have. So we have put together another amazing, fabulous, awesome bundle of products. This bundle is so jam-packed full of stuff that I'm not going to use everything that's in the bundle on this project because it's just too much product. So if you want to take a peek at everything that's included in the bundle, be sure to head over to the shop. I will link the bundle in the description box. You can take a peek at it. There is so much good stuff in it. But for today's project, we're going to use the pre-scored, pre-cut A2 card bases. We're going to use that white cardstock. We're going to use this stamp set. So this whole bundle started with this stamp set because I had this stamp set and it has never seen ink. I love it. It's gorgeous and beautiful and it's just been hanging out in my stash. So let's get it out and use it. We decided to go for a non-traditional fall type of look to the rest of the products. So while this stamp is fall, we're going to do non-traditional colors. We're going to do things like pinks and turquoise and gorgeousness and lots of sparkle. So we chose the Jawbreaker paper pad. And then we have those pretty pink crystals. We have glitter glaze and pearly rainbow embossing powder. And then there is also chroma glaze in pink in the bundle. We are just going to use these two today. We're going to use the glitter glaze and the pearly rainbow on our project for today. And then there's also rouge cardstock in the bundle and some black twine. And then we have these gorgeous chroma mist colors. So I handpicked these colors just for this bundle because they work together beautifully. They are so gorgeous, a little bit of metallic, a little bit of fall vibe, but then also this gorgeous pink and kind of aqua turquoise color. So the four colors are Copper Shimmer, Sunrise, Dragon Fruit, and Peacock. And we are going to start with these gorgeous sprays. I'm going to use them on a card panel. So I have a card panel. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to go ahead and, if you are working from home and you don't have a Bruce Monroe cardstock, grab the thickest, heaviest cardstock you can and then go get some Bruce Monroe cardstock because it's fabulous. This is really nice, gorgeous, heavyweight, 100-pound cardstock. And we need this weight today because we are going to be spraying these sprays like crazy. This paper is going to get saturated. So when I chose these colors, I chose them because if you choose the right colors of Bruce Monroe Chroma Mist, they will mix. So in this case, as we spray our panel, we're going to get some purples that are going to kind of pop in. We're going to get a little bit of like a green that's going to pop in. If you've ever been to the Bruce Monroe shop and you have seen, or if you've seen Christopher live and he wears the Bruce Monroe shirt that says Be Kind and it's got all that tie-dye, we're going to make a mixed media panel that will look a little bit similar to that. So it does not matter which spray we start with. We can start with any of them. I am just going to give them all a really good spin because I want to get as much of this mica powder throughout the bottle. I'm gonna get it good and mixed. This is probably one of the few times where you will spray. A lot of times we use sprays for splatter. We are gonna spray our card panel with this. So we're literally just going to spray. Be ready. We're also going to use our fingers. So the idea I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to move this around a little bit. And I personally don't like this little spray, the little spray marks. But what I do like is the little lovely kind of cells that you get that look almost like, it looks almost when it dries like you used alcohol ink, but you didn't. And if something looks off, you're not a fan of it, come in with some more spray. So I know that like over here, if I add some of this, I'm gonna get purple because Chroma Mist will mix. And you can see over here, you're gonna get some greens. So we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna kind of move it around, make sure everything's kind of moving. And when, you know, you're pretty sure you're okay with it, you're happy with it, take it. Paper has no memory, so it's gonna wanna curl up on you. Make it curl the other way. You can see this is saturated. This paper is saturated. And now I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna set it over here on a piece of scratch paper. I'm gonna clean up my mess and we're gonna show you what it looks like. So this is where it gets amazing. When those 4 Chroma Mists dry, this is what you have. So when you do it, when you spray the spray on, it looks really like it's gonna be bold and it looks like it's maybe mixing funny or doesn't, you're kind of scared, right? But when you set it aside, let it dry completely, this is what you have. And it's gorgeous, right? So I did this for both of these. I did exactly the same thing that I did on the one that I just showed you. And then now this is completely dry. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the stamp. We're going to use some Pearly Rainbow embossing powder, powder tool, and the clear embossing ink from Brutus Monroe. And I'm going to grab my Misty, because we are 100% going to need our Misty, and I'm also going to go ahead and grab my stick and stamp mat. So I'm gonna stick my stick and stamp mat in here. I'm using my stick and stamp mat for a very, very specific reason. So, our panel, our gold panel here, which is gorgeous, it's also warped. We have added a ton of water to this paper, so it is going to warp. It'll unwarp as we work with it, but it's warped. But I need it to be as flat and is in the same spot on my Misty as I possibly can, because I want to put a couple layers of embossing on it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to push it right down to the bottom, right over the edge. I'm going to snuggle it right into this corner, and then my stick and stamp mat is going to keep it flat, which is very important. So now we're gonna take our stamp. First, we're gonna take our powder tool. I know, how many of you in the chat were going, powder tool? I remembered. I still haven't gotten a new one though. It's still on my list of things to purchase. Still using this one. Next order, I promise. And yes, if you see my hands, your hands too can look like this. Just lots of sprays and a little water and you're good. Or lots of sprays and get your fingers in there. I told you, crafting with me is like going back to kindergarten and doing finger painting. Because we're gonna use our fingers a second time on this card project as well. So center your stamp exactly where you think you want it. Give it a good embossing powder. Good press down, make sure we've got all of that stamp on our panel. And then, we're gonna go like this. Grab our panel. Now, put the stick and stamp mat back in here. Don't take your stamp out. Leave your stamp right there. And then we're gonna come in with our heat tool and our embossing powder. And I'm going to go ahead and fold this. And Brutus Monroe embossing powder is amazing, which means I can fiddle around with all this stuff and my embossing powder isn't going to dry out on me. Added amazing bonus. I need a little mat under my heat tool. There we go. So this is Pearly Rainbow embossing powder. I actually bought this after one of Christopher's lives. He talked me into it and I absolutely adore it. It's so good. I am going to put a couple layers of embossing powder on this card panel today. I'm going to show you how to do that using your stick and stamp mat. Okay, let's get this good and hot. So that's one layer, but we want more than one layer. So we're gonna come in with our Misty. And now we can just put our card base right in that corner. and then let the stick and stamp mat do the work for you and hold on to that paper. And then we can come in with our embossing powder, ink, this is ink. And we're gonna put a couple of layers on this. So I think somewhere between like 3 or 4 layers. You wanna get a good amount, because the more layers you put on here, the more it's gonna kind of pop off of your stamp. And this one, did I just mess that up? Of course not. Nope, it's good. Okay. I don't think. I think it's okay. I just want to make sure. This is always a little scary, right? Like, it's always a little scary. You're not quite sure. Did you get it right? But I think we did. And if we did it, guess what? We're going to fake it. So we'll be just fine. I had a moment, but I think we're good. Okay. Let's do a 3rd layer. Come back. Gonna get our stick and stamp mat. Make sure it is where it needs to be, right here. And then right across the bottom. And get our, make sure our stamp is in place and exactly where it should be. Very good. And then we'll do another one. I'm gonna do 3 layers for the purpose of this video, and then I'll show you the end result. Now, when I show this on camera, and I don't know why that is, but on camera, this tends to look very subtle. In person, it is highly readable and amazing. But on camera, because I tried to film and take a picture of the finished one that I'm going to show you in a second, and it didn't quite look right. I mean, on camera compared to how it looks in person. So just trust me. This is gonna have to be a trust me situation. Okay, so here's 3 layers with that embossing powder. And I hope you can tell that with each layer, we are getting, it's becoming like more contrasted and really beautiful and easy to read. And in person, when you have it here sitting in front of you and you're looking at it, it's you can read it quite easily and it looks really pretty. Okay. So next, take your panel, let it cool off a little bit and kind of try to flatten it out. The best mixed media advice that I've ever gotten, and I use it all the time, is from Tim Holtz, of course, because of course it would be from Tim Holtz. I have seen him demo a bunch of times, and he says something every time he demos. He says, paper has no memory. And I always remember that, always. So take that paper, let it cool, pull it out, kind of let it do its thing, because then we're gonna make it wet again. So let's talk about glitter glaze. This is the Fallen Snow glitter glaze. I love this glitter glaze. It's my favorite. I've already gone through a jar or two of it, and I currently have like 3 unopened jars here. This one's open, but the other ones aren't. So, interesting thing about the glitter glaze is, first of all, when I put this on here, this is going to react to those chroma mists. And I really don't want any color in my Fallen Snow glitter glaze. So I'm gonna take a little hunk of this and get it out of the jar. That's the first thing I have to do, because if I don't, I will end up with color in here. Glitter glaze comes with this plastic cover. I go one step further and I use a piece of Glad pressing seal. Put it in there, push it down, and then I put on the cap. Push it down. I do this with chroma glaze. I do it with chroma mist. I do it, or not chroma mist, I do it with all the glazes, the velveteen glazes, all of that. I keep a roll of Glad Press and Seal in my craft room for the sole purpose of it, making sure that as little air as possible gets into my glaze and my pastes. Okay, now it's time to get our hands messy. So my plan is I want to put the glaze all in here, right? But I want to do it so because I want to do it very precisely, because I don't want necessarily to get the glaze on top of this embossed area. I mean, if it does a little, it's not going to hurt anything, but I would like the glitter glaze to not get onto my embossing. So you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the most precise tool that I have, and that's my finger. And again, this glitter glaze, it is going to, you're not going to stop it. It's going to react with the chroma mist. And because I'm swirling it with my fingers, swirl it. You want to swirl it. Trust me, you want to swirl it with your fingers. Because when we come back and I show you how it looks when it's dry, you'll understand why we want to swirl it with our fingers. So I'm going to get all around here. I'm going to get right up as close as I can to the embossing without going over the embossing. And I am not a big tool girl. I mean, I'm just not. I don't mind. I think I said this last week. I really don't mind getting my finger painting on my craft projects. Really don't mind. I think I put too much glitter glaze on here. Also, glitter glaze might be the best smelling mixed media product ever invented. This stuff smells so good. Oh my gosh. So now we're gonna let this dry. And yep, it's gonna warp again. And that is a-okay. It can warp again. Fine. Warp away, because paper has no memory. And as you're going to see in a second, when it's dry, you can unwarp it real quick. Glitter glaze takes, if you live in Pennsylvania, which I do, my glitter glaze takes an eternity to dry. No matter what I do, it takes an eternity to dry. I guess I just live in a very kind of humid part of the world. I don't know, but it does. It takes an eternity to dry. So just stay careful. I'm gonna set that up there to dry. And you know what? Since we're here, and since we have all of this gorgeous glitter glaze that I refuse to waste, and I have this, I'm just gonna go ahead and take the rest of this glitter glaze and I'm gonna put it over this extra panel that I made. And then I'll use this extra panel somewhere else. Like maybe I'll die cut it, or I'll do something else with it on another project. I keep lots of little bits and pieces like this in my stash. I have a specific spot for it because I don't like to waste product at all. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this panel with the glitter glaze, and there can be a lot of glitter glaze on this panel because I have no plans for using it anytime soon. So it can sit here and it can dry overnight, and then we can come back to that another day. There we go. And we'll grab the towel. This stuff, you need to wipe it up, like immediately. ASAP, wipe it up. And then I'll even, later on, I'll spray my glass mat. There. Okay, so you want to see what happens when the glitter glaze dries? Ta-da! So here is our finished panel. And again, I hope that you can see the embossing on camera. I hope that it catches it on the light the way, because in person it is so pretty, like so pretty. And you can see all of that embossing. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that is what it looks like when it's finished and dry and ready to go. So now we're gonna take, so our card is pretty much super easy now. We just have to pick a background. And I know that this is probably gonna be the hardest part because we have gorgeous backgrounds here, but I want one, like I sort of love this one. I feel like that is a definite possibility. And I actually think that that is my favorite paper in this paper pad because I'm always drawn to it and I always use it. I really like that one too, so that one would definitely work. Let's see what this one look like. Oh, no. That's the one we're using for sure. Okay, definitely. Decision made. Whoop. And get our card base. We're gonna need some foam strips for sure, absolutely. All right, so 4 1/4, 5 1/2, go ahead and use foam. And I am gonna put a lot of foam strips on the back of this because the more foam strips you can put on the back of this, the more your paper will flap. Because remember, we have put a lot of liquid products on this cardstock panel. So it's going to want to warp. It wants to warp, but we don't want it to do that. So we're gonna add lots of foam tape. That's gonna help to keep it even. And now I'm gonna lose my scissors, which is such a crafter thing to do. I'm gonna cut 2 of these strips off, and then I'm gonna cut them in half. Not perfectly in half at all, but in half enough. And put those off to the side because we will use them for something else. And there we go. That will be perfect. Another thing that I think this kit would be amazing for is if you have a good leaf die. You could take those 4 chroma mists and make a panel and then die cut some gorgeous fall leaves for a project. Or the fall foliage die set. You could die cut that with all these gorgeous colors for fall. You could cut the cup of sunshine, like those flowers, or the teacup. That would be awesome with the mixed media panel like this. So we'll get this perfect. And you can see, remember I said about the swirling, and to do that because it will look cool when it dries, and you can see those swirls in there now that it's dry. And this one's dry anyway. And then we'll go ahead and put this on one of the card bases. So everything that I have used today, plus some, is in today's bundle. So remember, it is discounted and it is chock full of fun goodies. This would be a great bundle if you have never played with the chroma mist, because you don't have to look at all the colors and then be like, I have no idea which colors to get. I got it for you. These colors, these 4, will mix together and they will be fabulous. And they will also have a little bit of that fun, like metallic going on. So you'll be ready to go. You have your card bases, which is in the kit. The pattern paper is in the kit. The white cardstock is in the kit. All of the chroma mists, your glaze, your stamp, your embossing powder, everything. There's even gems in the kit, which I'm now going to go ahead and use. So we definitely need some. These are the light pink crystals. And we're gonna add, I think we're gonna do like a little cluster up here. We're not gonna add too many. We don't need too many because we've got a lot of shimmer and shine going on here. So I'm thinking like a little cluster of 5 here, a little cluster of 5 here, and then call it done. Maybe even 3, maybe not even 5, maybe just 3. But what I need now is my stabby tool. There we go. Not the stabby end of the stabby tool, but the regular end of the stabby tool. Okay, and then I'm gonna put, I think we're just gonna do 3. 3 over here. I think that'll be good. I don't think we need more than that today. Just a little. A little is gonna go a long way here. Why are we doing that? Okay, there we go. Is there glue on my little tip? Possibly. There we go. A little bit of fuzz. I have dogs. We get dog hair. It's a thing. Look how pretty. These are the perfect color gems to put in our bundle today. Perfect color gems. There we go. Just a couple of little sparkles. Not a lot. All right, guys, I hope that you love this bundle as much as I do, and I hope you will head over to the shop and grab it while it is discounted, and you can make this gorgeous card, plus have lots of other fabulous, fun products to play with. I'm so sorry I couldn't be with you live tonight, but I'm really hopeful that I made it and could put my phone on mute and at least be in the chat to answer any questions you have. And I hope you've enjoyed the card project. I will see you again next Monday with a new bundle and more fun playing with products.